Hey, it's Joe Glens from Automator. Another episode of what we automated this week with AutoHotkey. So let's jump into it. Start prompt assistant to recently modified files. Again, this will kick off a bunch of scripts. Adjust my DPI, changes the do not disturb mode, which is a great one, by the way. Opens that recently modified files. Wow, what happened to my webcam reminder? This helps me remember that you can't see certain places. It's really interesting. I don't know how I got like that. And what I do is I put it behind my webcam. There, now I can see it, but you can't, which is fine. It's just so if I move my mouse over there, I realize you can't see anything. Get this down to here. Okie dokie. All right, we're good to go. So let's see, we had 49 files this week. Yeah, the AHK Script Maker. This is our editor. Lots of improvements to it. We released videos because we talk about it during the hero call. Thankfully, it's all built in AutoHotkey, right? Or 99% is the scintilla control. Like this control over here is not an actual AutoHotkey control, but we're controlling it with AutoHotkey. And it's come a long ways. If you're new to AutoHotkey or an intermediate programmer, I mean, the only thing we don't really have is like Git integration. The debugger is almost done. It has a little problems with it, but we're adding lots of little also bells and whistles and options and preferences that other editors don't have. And it's also able to easily switch between the V1, V2, and even a beta version if you want to be programming in the beta version. So it's very cool. Lots of cool functionality. We have tabs now. We have the debugger. We have the ability to search your clipboard, to search older files that you've had open before, to kill running scripts, to connect to them, to we don't have AI integrated with it yet, and at some point we might do something, probably not like, cursor in VS Code, that's too advanced, but we might have a little bit of an AI assist. But yeah, check it out. It's I think it's $4.99 on our website. I don't know what this was, some sort of test. I don't know what we were doing there. Testing something. Maybe that is a test for the debugger. I will bet you money on that. We still got to, you notice it says AHK editor. We got to change the folder. So it actually says AHK Script Maker. And that was actually one I thought we talked about, was also no one during the hero call. We talked about renaming folders when they're under Git, because everything we have is both under Git and under Dropbox. And apparently, if there's things uncommitted, or I forget what it was, but when you have Git folders and subfolders or submodules that are in different things, it can cause mayhem. So we need to update this folder name at some point, but yeah. Transcribe and Summarize. AHK Task. I don't know what that's another tool used in our editor. Transcribe and Summarize, great tool for transcribing your audio or video files. Some guy had wanted, sorry if I did go update it to accept different languages, at least for the preferences. I'm not sure how reliable it is, but he wanted the straight AutoHotkey code. We sell this as a compiled script or a program. Of course, I have the local version, right, which isn't compiled. And this calling one, unfortunately, it's not clearly spelled out, but this is an example of how you can do, you can call this script programmatically. So you can send files to it without actually, launching it. So you can select files and have a script that would select files and push files to it without actually launching it directly. Usually you have to launch it, then you drag files to it. Well, sometimes I do things a lot and I don't want to have to go, I just want to have my files here and hit a hotkey to send them to that transcriber. So that's what I created there. Which reminds me, I don't know if we have that in our transcriber tool, which is right here, which is a different tool. Check out the video on that tool if you want. It's when you have a lot of files you want to transcribe, but you don't want all the other bells and whistles that Transcribe and Summarize offer. Transcribe and Summarize offers you also to edit, to pull out sections of it, and to assign speakers, and so that's more advanced. Transcriber is more for bulk work when you have a lot of stuff that you want to do, and you can now disable the sentiment analysis, so it'll save you a little bit of money and it'll be a little faster. It also has hotkeys for pasting the, we can pull up titles, suggested titles from AI. So we use AI to give you suggested titles, to give you the tags for the video and the summary. So we now have hotkeys that make it really fast. I just cruised through 9 videos pushing them to YouTube with this tool to make it. It made it so much easier. It was really cool. Our assembly II class, copy data. I'm not sure what that is. This is all with the transcriber stuff. So Google Maps, I think I've mentioned a couple times now, Joey, a friend of mine from Texas Instruments when I worked with him, he now also has left TI, and we realized we do a lot of, like, the transcriber tool was one that he uses and loves, and we realized we do a lot of similar things. So we're kind of collaborating more and more and getting Google Maps reviews. And I was studying because I'm really into marketing as well as automation, and how much Google Maps influences the restaurants. And I've been helping local restaurants. So we wanted to be able to easily get the Google Map ratings and reviews for any given location. And what we're going to do is build a list also of people who actually often review, try to find them, reach out to them either via Facebook or just by looking them up in one way or another, and then asking them, those that have a lot of influence, if they want to go review our restaurant or whatever, right? So that's one. Well, there's going to be many uses of it. And so we were playing with the Google. I think this one, let me see if this one can just launch. Yeah, this is one where I can right now, I can select a location. Let's go to this is the place I help, which struggles in some ways, but I'll hit go. Let's see if it actually works. I think it might struggle or not. There we go. Yeah. So Irfan's working on this one. We have two different versions and they do different things. This is why I'm getting a little confused. This tool, let me just hit abort. Hopefully it'll stop. It will get and here we go. So I should have noticed it here. So I can tell it I want to look at restaurants, or restaurant or laundry or whatever. I want a 5-mile radius around the point I pick, right? So I told Irfan, getting the Latin launch, we can get it, but it's just kind of annoying. So we should be able to select a place or just click somewhere. And when you click somewhere, on mine, there we go. So this location will pop up and he'll use that Latin launch. And then we'll use this radius to extract these types of restaurants from the API. So even though we're using a Google map here, displaying them in a HTML a WebView 2 GUI, it will go switch to the API to get the list of things that match this search around within this radius around here, and we'll get a list of all those via the API. That is programmatic. We're paying a little bit of money, but it's super cheap to get that list, and that'll give us ratings and reviews on those places. The top 5, I think it's the most relevant is what Google calls them, reviews, which is interesting. And then we'll take the list of some of those, like let's say restaurants, and we'll go deep. We'll go, oh, hey, actually, okay, now this is Duncan. I want to get every review because we can only get 5 from that API. But what we're going to do is we're going to be able to select it and then scrape, basically come into here and go to reviews and then say, hey, look, it's me. I gave it, a solid review. So, but it'll go through and loop over. I don't know if we can get all, but it'll keep scrolling down until it says there's no more reviews, right? Let's go back up. This one has 425 reviews. I'm not sure, like if you notice there, and I think it just kind of stopped because I was scrolling. At some point, it's still kind of, because my bandwidth is decent, it's going. And it might get to the bottom of the 425, we're not sure. But we'll get a lot of them, right? So we're going to get the overall ratings, so it'll help my friend Joey understand also, hey, those that are like 2 reviews, and we could also come up here, and I think there's a filter. We could probably try to filter and say, give us the one. Oh, can I not do that? No, actions for Joe. Edit your review. I was thinking we could select the 1-star. I want to see the 1s or the 2s or the 4s, and that would help us. Oh, here we go. So that's a sort, highest, lowest, low. So that would help with it, but I thought we could just filter. If we could filter, we get a little more, we have more minutia to be able to get the full list. So I'll have to look at that and see if we can in some way activate. And this is our GUI, so it may not be exactly what's available. I think it should be close. But yeah, so we're doing a bunch of stuff with Google Maps, lots of different things. And it's going to be very cool for us, for my friend Joey, and for helping restaurants or whatever types of businesses. There's a lot of businesses on Google Maps. So here's the places. Just FYI, so this API, here's the V1 version. And let me... I'll go back to this one for now. I told Urfian I had, and you can see it down here. Now we have a V2, but I had V1 stuff I did with AutoHotkey. Can I right click here and open the folder? Yeah, there we go. So let's see if we still have the dates, if they're the original. No, they've unfortunately all been updated. That's a bummer because they were crazy old. Let's see, V1, some of these other ones. No, but they're not going to be the same. I really wanted that Google Maps. Well, we can look at some of the other stuff I did. 2017, that was created. Places, I think that's all updated. Yeah, those are all updated. But it was from a really long time ago that I was playing with this, so 2019. And what was cool was, or crazy was, as opposed to web scraping, the Urfian had to update the token, but the code worked. The V1 code from forever ago worked. It was pulling valid data in. That just goes to show you APIs are built to last, right? They're built to be a stable thing. That's why we try not to do web scraping. We try to use APIs when they're available, even if there's a bit of a cost. They're so much faster and consistent, reliable, and save you, even though there's a little bit of cost to use them sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the developer time, which is, of course, your time or the client's time, you have to consider also, if I'm doing web scraping, but they change the website every couple of weeks or once a month or something, and I have to go spend a couple more hours, man, that when you're billing it, let's say $50 an hour or whatever it is, it doesn't take long at all. It'd take a lot of API calls to bill for 1 hour for $50, right? Like, so to me, it's a no-brainer. When there's APIs available, go with the APIs. Add to audio. So here's one. I'll just tell you. Actually, I think this has a GUI I can show you. Yeah. So during some of the hero calls, and this ASI are the two people that talk the most, not entirely. And Urfian speaks more and more, but we speak the most. And sometimes we're not at the same level. Sometimes his ace is far below my level, and sometimes maybe I'm below. It just depends, right? The problem is we can't tell. Well, and unfortunately, no one speaks up and says, "Hey, Isaiah, you're a little low," because I can't tell because I hear him, but I don't hear myself. So it's hard. We can't tell if we're on the same level or not. So I wrote this tool because I do tell Zoom to record our audio tracks separately. So it saves them on the cloud for me for each speaker, and I can download them. And so normally what I would do, you can go into DaVinci Resolve and find where each person speaks and adjust the levels. But it's very, especially if it's an hour-long call, it's really time-consuming because Isaiah and I switch back and forth a lot, and it just takes a lot of time. What I realized was in DaVinci, you can go get Isaiah's audio file separately, put it underneath, move his separate track up, even though we don't exclude anything but the main one, and it will adjust. It will sound great. It boosts him without having to worry it's conflicting with him in the other file. So it's a little confusing, but hopefully you get that. And then I thought, you know what? Even that in DaVinci still takes some time. I think I could do it all with FFmpeg. So sure enough, AI, with my guidance, wrote this so I can select a video file, and then I select an audio file that I want to boost. So this audio volume affects this audio file. I should probably make a group box or something to help with that. But and I should also set this to be boosted up. I've just been defaulting to 50%. The percentage itself, I think it does a 10x when you do the 50%. But and you hit mix audio tracks, and I'm done. So all I have to do is download the other audio file I want to use and then put in the video, and it burns a new video with this boosted audio of this track and adjusts it. So post hoc, I fix the actual video before I load it to YouTube, so people who weren't on the hero call, they have the full one, but then all the little extracts I do, they're all boosted as well. So cool little tool that I wrote that, again, I in air quotes, AI is just doing. Still use Claude predominantly, Claude or Grok, and I use Gemini a little now, not as much for AutoHotkey coding. I use it for a lot of other stuff, for generating text, but I don't use it as much for coding. But yeah, that was a cool little tool we built. Google Maps, great. Maybe this is the one that's a standalone. This was going to look a lot like that last one we just did, but let's go back to here. And now notice this scrape review. So I can click this button. This shouldn't really be here. He's building it for someone else, but it's going to start ripping these ratings, reviews, the scores, everything about it, right? So this is a different standalone version, but which is cool for the quick. I wanted to demonstrate the concept for Joey of here's what we want to build. But when we started really thinking about it more and more, so it got 188 reviews, nice. And it built them in a JSON file, which we could go look at, but I don't think you guys want to necessarily see that. So that's the other part. I don't know if we'll end up using this one entirely, if we just use the other one. They kind of overlap a lot, but still very, very cool. Auto refresh. Those of you watching, if you're using Windows Explorer and you somehow generate a new file or put a file into a folder without actually you dragging it there, like let's say with my audio tool I just said, it generates a new video file for me and puts it there. Does Explorer automatically show it to you, or does you have to hit F5? Because for Isaias and I in Windows 11, we almost always have to hit F5. It's ridiculous. But Irfan, it always shows it for him. So we're trying to figure it out. But I was trying to write a way to automatically have, if Explorer is active, to have an auto refresh every second or two, just to say, hey, we're going to watch for any files, and if a new one shows up, it's going to refresh for you. So that's what this script was. But comment on this video, please, and tell us if you have the same issue, because we're not sure about how common it is. Again, my media player, making minor tweaks to that. Search and replace a word. This one I'm going to have to do a whole separate video on, but there's actually, this one is pretty cool, and I think I can, alright, they're all related. But I'll do a separate video on it, but I'll talk through it real quickly here. So for the newsletter, I have separate sections where I have standard quotable quotes that I include in the newsletter. I have testimonials from clients, which I'll put one in the newsletter, and I usually randomly pick one. And then I have news, the things that we're reading, and from news about AI. So those are all things in a spot of humor as well, right? Those are all things that get added to a newsletter that I piecemeal through. I go through and search, and I said, you know what? Maybe we can streamline this a bit more. So first off, I asked Irfan to create this one to go randomly pull like 3 quotes for me, and it will insert them into the newsletter. Actually, the meme is the other one. I have a meme at the very beginning, which it randomly pulls one. But all of these things, I was realizing, hey, the ones that are random, I could push them into there automatically. Why am I doing it, right? So basically, I say go pull 3 quotes, go randomly pull the testimonial, go randomly pull a meme, randomly pull a humor thing I have, right? Because they're really random, right? Sometimes the quotes I help use to support the main story, but most of the other stuff, they're truly random, so it's okay. However, the news articles that I will post, because I have a long list of probably a couple hundred of things that we're have in our queue. Those I will try to keep up with a theme. And what I realized was, hey, why don't I build a list because I have those stored in places and I go manually do it. Why don't I have those like in a sort of a database? And then at some point, so first off, we built a tool to help stuff things into the queue, right? So because right now it sort of takes me a little bit of time. So we were automating that, but we're going to also automate the selecting of them and pushing them into the newsletter. That's a whole different part because they're done at different times and different things. But what I also realized was, hey, if I have the story's theme, the main intro, the theme about it, or maybe some of the videos, I could also build a list of our most recent, let's say 100 videos, and say which of our last 100 videos support this theme, right? So I think that's a pretty cool idea. We'll use AI to really build a more custom. I'm still writing everything in it, right? But it's helping pull in the right things and will save me time in that and deliver better content to you guys, assuming you're a newsletter subscriber. So that's what these were. I was working on separate ones, and I realized we can combine them, just structure them in a way where it understands the differences, so we can have one tool. Isaias has been working on prompt assistant a little bit more. This is the recently modified. This is the file we're looking at. Actually, Irfian, I pointed out to him a couple of the tools I was clicking on were not updating this thing on the screen. The green at the bottom down here. How can I see that? Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to see the mouse on OBS. But this, where it says recently modified files, those get updated. Like here, when I switch to prompt assistant, that should push it, and it updates down there. There were a couple of them that were not getting pulled in, and I think we had a problem with our regex grabbing it, because they look in this file, and they will grab parts of this. They'll link this link here. I think it's either from there or somewhere in here we have the script. I think maybe it's down here. This one, the homepage link. Nope. Homepage text probably is my guess. That's what gets pulled in. So this way I don't have to do this post hoc, right? Another just thing I realized, why am I doing this manually, right? So we made a little update to that. Disabling the mark of the web. Oh yeah, and this one, I need to go actually confirm and log out and try this to see if it worked. I thought it didn't work. And Connie, a hero member, was also saying he has the same issue. And it's an update from Windows that gets applied. And then you can't easily preview the files you download from the internet. So I was playing with this toy, which I can launch it here and show you. It has a little GUI where I can enable or disable the setting. It shows you when. What was interesting was I had applied this to disable it. A couple days ago, I noticed I couldn't view a file. I came back in here. It had another. It's a weird number. I should have recorded it. It was some weird number here. And so originally I thought the script wasn't working, but this did get changed somehow. So maybe the update from Microsoft, maybe it's somehow reapplying itself, and I need to actually build this into a loop to constantly disable that. So I need to reboot my Explorer and then go create a file and see, or download a file from the internet and see if it has that stupid mark of the web. Because they won't let you preview it. And, if it's a PNG file or if it's a text file, it's not harmful. Yet they block like the AutoHotkey files. It's really annoying. So yeah, that's that tool. Res Finder, we did an update to this. Actually, Connie took our JSON file, or the file that stores all the resources for the icons. So this allows you to search. Right now it's looping over all these files, but we have a large, I think it's JSON file, or maybe it's any file actually, where we store all this. And now if I type like red, oh, that's a tag I'm adding, sorry, my bad. So red, it'll look for words that have red in it or things that have been tagged with red. And if I click one, we can see this has UI red. These are the tags associated to it, right? And then once you find the icon you want, and actually that was one thing that last week or the week before I realized in this, if I don't, let me restart it, because I don't know how to, I don't think I can not, oh, there, maybe I didn't select one there. See, now the copy selected is disabled. Before it wasn't. And I was clicking here, but nothing was selected, and that's why it didn't work. So now if I select an icon and I say copy selected, it will give me the code to go set the tray icon, right? And we have different things here. And we have them both in V1 and V2. So this is a crazy, crazy helpful script. I highly recommend you grab it. And it helps you not have all the same stupid system tray icons. That's one. Or you can use, it gives you code for your list views. Like if you want to add a list view, this would give you code for how you do that in V1 or V2, right? So really, really helpful tool. But also just finding, let's say dog. I don't know if I have any that says dog. Why do these have dog? They must have, what? That's interesting. Oh, and now, yeah, something didn't get updated there, so it is working. Yeah, do I have any cat? No, and that'll be like category or something, yeah, so, mouse sure has something. Really? Nothing with time? Maybe clock? Yeah, maybe we should, I should ask, we could use AI to look at the INI files, not to go assign. Connie went through, I believe, and took the picture and had AI add more text that would describe it. But the other thing I think we could do, because this tool doesn't have AI built into it, right? What we could do is use AI to go through the tags, these tags, and say, okay, think up some synonyms for these things that are listed here, because we're filtering off. This is where AI is crazy helpful, right? If we did build a token tool into here, it could do a better job of like a fuzzy match on concept, right? So maybe we should consider adding an AI aspect to this tool, because when you're searching right now, it's searching the actual text that matches, right? And what we want is something that matches on concept, not on the exact words you type. So let's go back to show all. That's part of the problem here. But yeah, very, very, even on its own, very cool tool. The problem is when you add AI, then you got to explain to people how to get the token, and there's charges, involved. So that's why maybe we won't do that. But yeah, who made an update to your bottler? That's hilarious. And hero call. So, oh, this is my hero room launcher. See, the Joe. This is what launches the room, the Zoom and other tools that we use during hero calls. So yeah, that's basically what we've been up to this week. It's been a wild week. I highly recommend, as always, join the Hero Club. It's $1.99 for the first month, and we have 3 hours of calls a week. And I just finished starting a new Hero page where we store the archives. We moved all of 2025. So this is I think it's our 5th year doing the Hero Club, and it's. I mean, everyone that attends the calls or watches some stuff loves the content stuff we get. I know a lot of you guys watch the extracts from the hero calls on our YouTube channel, but being able to be there live and ask questions is crazy helpful. Also, remember, you can actually hire us to give you training sessions or consultations for helping actually develop code for you. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.